Have you ever wondered how you repay your HELP/HECS debt, or what these income thresholds mean? As we roll into the new financial year, there are some changes around the tax legislation relating to your HELP debt. If you're interested in learning more, please keep watching. So if you've been to uni, you've probably racked up a substantial HELP debt. Now, when I was at uni, this was called HECS. So HELP stands for Higher Education Loan Program, where essentially when you go to uni and you meet the eligibility requirements, the government can cover the costs of your uni fees, and then when you reach a certain income threshold later on in the future, you have to start repaying back that debt. This week I actually received two separate phone calls from two different friends who had questions about HELP. So I decided to do a quick little video, especially because there are some new changes around the income threshold repayments for HELP. Now, they had some questions about their income thresholds and what would happen to them if their employer wasn't withholding enough tax to cover their HELP debt. So I'm sure a lot of people out there have the same questions, and I just wanted to give a brief overview of what that means if you might be in the same boat. So just to note, when I mention HELP debt, I'm actually referring to a number of other student loans. So these include VET student loan, student financial supplement scheme, the student startup loan, the AB study student startup loan, and the trade support loan. So if I mention HELP debt in this video at all, I'm sort of trying to encompass all those other loans as well, because currently the thresholds are going to be the same. So how does the HELP debt repayment system work? In a nutshell, once your income reaches a certain threshold, you have to start repaying your HELP debt based on a percentage of your income. So if you're fresh out of uni and you haven't quite secured a well-paying job, then you won't be forced to start repaying your HECS debt immediately. Similar to how tax is calculated, the higher your income threshold is, the more of your HELP debt you have to repay back during that financial year. So if you've come out of uni and you've managed to score yourself a really awesome paying job, and you reach that income threshold where you are forced to start repaying your HELP debt, then you'll have to start repaying it back through the tax system. As you progress through your career and your income goes up, the higher your income, the more, or the percentage calculated on your income threshold will be higher, meaning you will be having to pay back your HELP debt a lot quicker. Your HELP debt repayment income threshold is actually slightly different to your taxable income. It's calculated by your total taxable income plus the total net investment losses, plus total reportable fringe benefits amounts, reportable superannuation contributions, and exempt foreign employment income. So once we have our total taxable income and add these other items together, this will get your HELP debt repayment threshold. Now, this is the amount that is determined as to if you're under or over the threshold, and at what percentage your repayment for the financial year will be. So why is this so relevant right now? It's relevant because the HELP debt repayment income thresholds have just changed. So in the 2019 financial year, if your income threshold was below $51,957, you weren't forced to repay your HECS debt back via tax. moving into the 2020 financial year, so that is from 1 July 2019, if your income threshold is lower than $45,881, you won't have to start repaying back your HELP debt, but if it's over, then you will. So this means a lot of uni grads are going to be caught under the new rules, and a lot of them are probably not anticipating that they will have to be paying back their debt sooner. So this is what the Australian government have decided, and I'm sure there are a lot of upset uni grads around these new changes. So here is a table summarising the thresholds and the percentage associated with each threshold. So anyone who is below the income threshold limit of $45,881, you won't be required to make any repayments to your HELP debt in the 2020 financial year. Moving up, if you're between $45,881 to $52,973, 1% of your total income threshold for HELP debt will be the minimum requirement as your HELP debt repayment for that year. As you can see, the more you earn, the higher that percentage level is. If you are earning over $134,573, then a good 10% of your total income threshold will be a repayment back to the government to repay your HELP debt. So I'm just going to quickly touch base on TFN declarations and what that means around HELP debt repayments. So when you start a new job, it's very important that you complete this form correctly. It is even more important that you complete this form correctly if you have HELP debt. So your employer will issue you with your TFN declaration form to complete. It will have your TFN number, or you'll enter your TFN number, your name, your address, and it will have a question about if you currently have a HELP debt. You will essentially tick this box, give it back to your employer, and they will input you in their payroll system as having a HELP debt, which means when they come to do the periodic payroll, they should be withholding enough tax for your income tax obligations and your HELP debt repayment obligations. If you are unsure that your employer is doing this, or if you have completed your TFN declaration wrong, I would strongly recommend that you go to your employer and let them know that you have a HELP debt currently, so they can update you in the payroll system, so for future pay runs they are withholding enough tax to meet HELP debt repayment obligations. If you have for some time now, if your employer for some time now has not been correctly withholding enough tax because you did not complete the form correctly, I would suggest talking to your trusted tax agent about a potential tax liability at the end of the year, and potentially start saving some extra pennies because enough tax hasn't been taken out of your current wage. So it's not uncommon to see people who they don't understand their TFN declarations and they don't tick the right box, or they just don't complete it, and they get this, I don't know, $3 grand, $5 grand, $10 grand bill at the end of the year, of the financial year, going, I don't understand. And it's as simple as not ticking a box that can really get you in some trouble financially, because it's up to you to get that right, and it's not up to your employer to be checking, asking everyone if they've got a HELP debt if you've not completed a form correctly. What happens if you are self-employed? If you are self-employed, the same rules apply to you. Once you reach that income threshold where you have to start repaying your HECS, then you've got to start repaying your HECS. you will have to think about not only the tax calculated on your income tax you've got to put money aside for, you're going to also have to think about the potential help debt repayment that you've got to cover for that financial year. So again, if you have specific questions about your circumstance, do speak to a trusted tax agent about this. Again, I have a separate video on my YouTube channel around how your tax is calculated. So if you watch that, that'll give you a brief understanding of how the tax system works in Australia. So what about making voluntary help debt repayments? Yes, if you want to, you can definitely make voluntary help debt repayments even if you're under the income threshold for a financial year. If you want to check your current help debt balance, the easiest way to do this is to log on to your MyGov account, make sure that the ATO is linked, and it'll show you the current balance of your help debt at today. Another way is to call the ATO directly and they can help you with confirming that balance. Alternatively, you can speak to your trusted tax agent about getting confirmation on what that balance is. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Just remember that the tax legislation is changing all the time, so if you want to have a go at calculating a potential help debt repayment, please ensure that you are using the current rates. If you have any specific questions about your help debt, please do contact your trusted tax agent for the right advice. If you've liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. It helps me to bring more valuable content to you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.